come to my office right now, ma'am. And don't tell anyone. My late daughter's school manager called just 3 hours after her burial, and the moment I arrived, my entire body began trembling when I saw the person standing before me. I never imagined the day I buried my only child would be the day my life twisted into something darker, heavier, and far more terrifying than grief itself. I thought the worst had already happened. I thought nothing could hurt more than placing my baby girl, Nicole Harris, into the ground at just 14 years old. But 3 hours later, while people were still eating funeral food in my living room and offering those polite, empty condolences that don't reach the heart, my phone rang. The caller ID read, Nicole's school, manager's office. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe someone didn't hear the news yet. But when I answered, the voice on the other end made my blood turn cold. Mrs. Harris, please ma'am, come to my office right now. And don't let anyone know about it. It was Mr. Terrence Coleman, the school manager. His voice trembled, not a little, but enough to make me sit up straight. My eyes flicked around the room. Aunties were still talking over plates. My cousin was crying by the window. My pastor was praying quietly in the corner. The last thing I wanted was to leave my own daughter's repast. But the tone in Mr. Coleman's voice, it wasn't normal. It wasn't respectful condolences. It was fear. Sir, what's going on? I whispered. Ma'am, please. Just come. Alone. And hurry. Before I could ask anything else, he hung up. For a full minute, I sat still, staring at my phone, trying not to shake. I didn't want to raise suspicion. So, I grabbed my purse quietly and slipped out the back door. Nobody noticed. Everyone assumed I was overwhelmed with grief and needed a moment. In truth, grief was the least frightening emotion inside me. Something deeper, something cold and electric, was crawling up my spine. The sky was still gray when I arrived at Lincoln Ridge Middle School, Nicole's school. The place she had laughed, cried, learned, made friends, and the place that now felt like a shadow hovering over her death. As I walked through the hallways, everything felt wrong. The lights were dim. The school was empty, completely closed for the weekend. Yet the front door had been left unlocked. The silence felt like it had weight. When I reached the manager's office, the door was already slightly open. My hand shook as I pushed it wider. Inside, Mr. Coleman was pacing like he had walked a hole into the floor. His shirt was wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot, like he hadn't slept in days. When he saw me, he froze. Mrs. Harris, he swallowed hard. Thank you for coming. What's going on? I asked. Why did you call me here? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked to his desk drawer, unlocked it with a shaky hand, and pulled out a brown envelope. He placed it on the desk gently, like it was fragile or dangerous. I found this, he whispered. It belonged to Nicole. My stomach tightened. Nicole? Something of hers? Here? I reached slowly for the envelope, but before my fingers touched it, a presence stepped out from behind the office door. And that's when my entire body began trembling. Standing there was Ms. Brianna Tate, the school counselor. But it wasn't just her being there that startled me. It was her expression. Her eyes were red from crying. Her hands were clasped tightly in front of her like she was praying. She shouldn't have been here. She wasn't supposed to even know I was coming. And she definitely wasn't supposed to look like she'd seen a ghost. Mrs. Harris, she whispered, voice cracking. I'm so sorry. I didn't know he would call you this soon. What is going on? I repeated, my voice louder now, my pulse pounding in my ears. Somebody better tell me why I'm here, today of all days. Mr. Coleman exhaled shakily. We discovered something this morning. Something Nicole left behind. Something she didn't want anyone else to see. My throat tightened. What do you mean? Ms. Tate stepped closer. Nicole came to see me last week, she said quietly. She was scared. She told me something was happening, something she didn't know how to handle. I felt the ground tilt beneath me. What happened? Mr. Coleman gestured to the envelope. It's all in there. I picked it up slowly. It felt heavier than paper should ever feel. Like it was full of secrets I wasn't prepared to face. My fingers trembled as I pulled the flap open, and inside, I saw something that made the breath leave my lungs. A small flash drive, a folded note, and Nicole's handwriting all over the outside of the envelope. The note said, "Mom, if you're reading this, it means I couldn't say it out loud." My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. What is this? I choked out. Why didn't anyone show me this sooner? Ms. Tate looked down in shame. We didn't know how serious it was until this morning. And when we realized, we knew we had to call you immediately. But why this secrecy? Why couldn't I tell anyone? I demanded. Mr. Coleman stepped closer, voice trembling. Because, Mrs. Harris, he swallowed hard. The person Nicole was afraid of still works in the school. For a moment, the room didn't feel real. The walls seemed to tilt, the light flickered, and my breath locked in my chest. Someone Nicole was afraid of still worked in this school. I gripped the envelope, so tight my nails dug into it. "Tell me exactly what you're talking about," I said slowly, my voice shaking with fury and fear. Mr. Coleman rubbed his forehead, looking like he was fighting tears himself. "Mrs. Harris, Nicole came to us a week before her death. She reported something very serious." "Then why didn't you call me?" I snapped. "Why didn't anybody tell me my child was scared?" Silence. The two adults exchanged a look. Ms. Brianna Tate, the counselor, stepped forward again, voice soft. "She begged us not to. She said she didn't want to make things worse at home. She didn't want you to worry." I felt like someone punched me in the chest. Nicole, my sweet girl, thinking she had to protect me when I would have moved heaven and earth to protect her. "Open the note," Miss Tate whispered. My hands trembled as I unfolded the small sheet of paper. Nicole's handwriting, always neat, always bubbly, looked shaky and rushed this time. It read, "Mom, I know you'll be mad I didn't tell you, but I was scared. I didn't want you to cry because of me. I'm sorry, but I need you to see this." My vision blurred, but I forced myself to continue reading. I recorded everything on the flash drive. "If something happens to me, please show the police." Everything inside me froze. Recorded. Everything. I stared at the flash drive like it was a live grenade. "What's on this?" I whispered. Mr. Coleman swallowed. "We didn't watch it. We were scared too. But we know it's tied to a staff member Nicole interacted with often." "Who?" I demanded. "Tell me who scared my baby." The counselor looked down at her shoes, refusing to meet my eyes. The manager paced again, running his hands through his hair like he was scared to say the name. Before either could answer, another voice echoed from the hallway. A calm, steady, deep voice. "Monique, you shouldn't be here." I spun toward the door. Standing there was Dr. Malcolm Reeves, the principal. Tall, composed, dressed in his dark suit, even on a weekend. The kind of man who always had a stern face and a smooth voice that didn't match the coldness in his eyes. "What are you doing here?" Mr. Coleman stuttered. Dr. Reeves didn't respond. He walked into the office slowly, closing the door behind him. My heart pounded hard enough to shake my ribs. Something about his presence felt wrong. Too calm for what was happening. "I see you've opened the envelope," he said quietly, eyeing the flash drive in my hand. "Mrs. Harris, I need to take that." I stepped back instantly. "Take it? For what?" He clasped his hands behind his back like he was making a business request. "We need to review the contents before anyone else sees it. For safety. For accuracy." "No," I said sharply. "This is my daughter's. She left it for me. I'm not giving you anything." The principal's jaw tightened. "This is a school matter. This is my child's life." I yelled. "And you think I'm handing over the last thing she left behind? Not a chance." He took a slow breath, and his voice dropped even lower. "Mrs. Harris, if you watch that video without us, you may misunderstand things. You could misinterpret staff conduct and make accusations that will ruin innocent people's careers." And that's when I felt something shift inside me. Why would he assume the video would incriminate someone before even seeing it? Why was he so determined to get it? I narrowed my eyes. "Dr. Reeves, why are you scared of what's on this flash drive?" His face twitched, just for a split second, but enough to show cracks in his calm mask. "I'm not scared," he said evenly, "but I won't let confidential footage leave this building." I clutched the flash drive to my chest. "Confidential? You mean the video of my baby is confidential to you?" Mr. Coleman stepped between us. "Dr. Reeves, please, she deserves answers." The principal glared at him with a look that said, "Shut your mouth." Then he turned back to me. "Mrs. Harris, I'm asking politely. Give me the drive."
"No."
His expression hardened. "If that video contains accusations against staff, it must be examined by administration before any parent." "Administration?" I hissed. "You mean the same administration that ignored my daughter when she asked for help?" Silence. Even Ms. Tate looked shaken. I slowly backed away, gripping my purse. "I'm leaving," I said. "And I'm taking this with me." Dr. Reeves took a single step forward. "Mrs. Harris, that would be a mistake." I took another step back. Threatening a grieving mother? Bold move. Ms. Tate rushed to my side. "I'll walk you out," she said quickly. "Mrs. Harris, let's go." The principal didn't move. Didn't blink. Just watched me walk out of his office like a predator watching prey slip away. The moment we stepped into the hallway, Miss Tate pulled the door shut behind us, breathing hard. "Listen," she whispered urgently. "Whatever's on that flash drive, don't watch it alone." My heart dropped. "Why?" Her voice cracked. "Because Nicole wasn't afraid of a student, Mrs. Harris." She wiped her eyes. She was afraid of an adult in this school. I didn't speak until we reached the parking lot. My breath trembled as I clutched my purse against my chest, feeling the weight of the flash drive inside like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. Ms. Brianna Tate stayed close to me, constantly glancing over her shoulder like she expected the principal to follow us. Her hands were shaking. Her voice was barely above a whisper when she finally said, "Mrs. Harris, Nicole came to see me because she didn't feel safe." My heart tightened painfully. Safe from who? Ms. Tate swallowed. Someone she trusted. Someone all the students trusted. My throat felt thick. There was something she wasn't telling me, something heavy. "What did she tell you?" I demanded. She hesitated, looked around again. Then, she said a staff member crossed a boundary with her. The words hit me like a slap. I felt myself stumbling backward until my hand found my car door. "No," I whispered. "Not my baby." She would have told me. She tried, Mrs. Harris. That's what the video is. My knees weakened. I grabbed the car door handle to steady myself. But why? My voice broke. Why didn't she just come home and tell me? Why didn't anyone call me? Miss Tate's eyes filled with guilt. She was scared of getting in trouble. Scared no one would believe her. And she thought the staff member would make things worse if she reported it. "Who?" My voice cracked. "Who hurt my daughter?" She shook her head. "I can't say his name. Not until you watch what she left behind." My hands clenched. "Is it Dr. Reeves?" He acted weird. She looked startled. "No." It wasn't him, but he knows more than he's saying. That's why he tried to stop you from leaving with a flash drive. A cold wave washed through me. What kind of place was this school? And what had they put my child through without telling me? Ms. Tate exhaled shakily. "You need to watch the video somewhere safe. Don't watch it at home, not with all those people still there. Go somewhere private." "Where?" She thought for a moment. "There's a police station 6 blocks away. If anything in that video shows a crime, you'll already be in the right place." A crime. She said it so calmly, but the word punched the air out of my chest. I nodded slowly. Okay. But before I got into the car, she grabbed my arm with surprising strength. "One more thing," she whispered. "Nicole didn't leave that envelope in her locker. Someone placed it in my office this morning. Someone who wanted it to be found." I stared at her. "What do you mean? Who put it there?" Her voice dropped even lower. "We think it was her best friend. Zoe." She nodded. "She hasn't spoken since Nicole passed. Not a word. But we believe she left the envelope because she knew nobody else would be brave enough to do it." Something inside me broke all over again. My daughter, scared. Her best friend, terrified. A school hiding something. A principal trying to block the truth. I thanked Miss Tate and got into the car, my fingers trembling as they closed around the steering wheel. As I drove away, I saw the school building in the rearview mirror. It didn't look like the place Nicole used to run into every morning, laughing and full of life. It looked like a place full of secrets. A place that had failed her. A place that might have taken more from her than I'd ever imagined. The police station wasn't far, but the closer I got, the heavier the flash drive felt in my purse. Did I really want to see what my daughter recorded? Did I want to hear her voice describing something I wasn't there to protect her from? Could I handle watching my baby suffer, even on video? I pulled into a quiet corner of the parking lot. It was almost empty, just one patrol car and a security SUV. My hand shook as I took the flash drive out. The metal was cold. Too cold. I plugged it into my laptop. A small folder popped up on the screen. 1 hour ago, I buried my child. Now I was about to watch her last message to me. There was only one file. A video. Labeled. Mom, I'm sorry. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. With trembling fingers, I clicked play. The screen lit up. Nicole appeared. Sitting on her bed. Eyes puffy. Voice shaky. Hands twisting nervously in her lap. Mom, she whispered, barely audible. I don't know how to say this. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. She sniffled and wiped her nose. He said if I told anyone, he'd get me expelled. He'd say I lied. He said I'd ruin everything. My heart stopped. He. Who is he? Nicole looked around the room, like she thought someone was listening. But I have proof, she said softly. He didn't know my camera was on. My pulse slammed in my ears. Proof? Camera? Suddenly, Nicole reached off screen and grabbed her phone. She tapped something, her hands shaking violently. Mom, she whispered, voice breaking. I think he's dangerous. I felt my stomach drop. The video switched. Nicole had added a second clip. A clip recorded inside the school. Inside someone's office. The moment the camera adjusted, my entire body turned cold. It was a grown man. A staff member I recognized. And he was standing way too close to my daughter. Nicole's voice whispered over the footage. Mom, this is the part I'm scared to tell you about. I covered my mouth because suddenly I knew exactly who the man was. And it wasn't the principal. It wasn't a teacher. It was someone I never would have suspected. Someone Nicole saw every single day. Detective Miles didn't even sit down. He walked straight to the front of the classroom, lifted the lid of Nicole's tablet, and placed it carefully on the teacher's desk. The screen was cracked just like Monique remembered. He pressed play. A faint audio clip came to life, muffled at first, then suddenly clear, loud, and painful. Nicole's voice. Monique felt her chest collapse in on itself. She grabbed the edge of a desk for balance. Detective Miles looked at her gently. Take your time. But you need to hear this. Everyone in the room went still. Mrs. Porter's hands clenched so tight her knuckles went white. Nicole's voice trembled through the speakers. Miss Porter, please, it hurts. Monique slapped her hand over her mouth. Zoe broke down, crying behind her. Even Dr. Reeves stiffened like he'd been hit. Then came another voice, aggressive, sharp, unmistakably cruel. Stop being dramatic, Nicole. If you followed instructions the first time, we wouldn't be here. Now finish it. It was Mrs. Porter. The same voice from earlier. The same tone. Mr. Coleman shook his head slowly, like he already knew but prayed he was wrong. The audio continued. Nicole crying, begging, apologizing sounds no mother should ever have to hear. But worst of all was the thud. Something hitting a hard surface. Followed by Nicole gasping. Monique felt her knees buckle. Zoe rushed to her side, but Monique held up a trembling hand. No, let it play, she whispered. Her voice cracked. I need to hear every second. A final sound came, a louder thud, a whimper, and then silence. The recording ended. No one breathed. Mrs. Porter broke first. It wasn't what it sounded like. I swear. She was clumsy, she fell. Detective Miles lifted his hand. Mrs. Porter, don't say another word unless your lawyer is present. But Mrs. Porter panicked. Her voice rose, hysterical. She was disrespectful. She always was. I was correcting her. I didn't mean. Monique stepped forward slowly. Zoe tried to hold her back, but Monique kept moving. Mrs. Porter fell silent when she saw her face. Monique's voice was low.
Calm.
Too calm. You were yelling at my daughter. You hit her. She begged you to stop. And you left her there alone when she needed help. Mrs. Porter shook her head desperately. I didn't kill her. I didn't. You broke her, Monique whispered. And then you let her die. Dr. Reeves finally snapped back to reality. Detective, arrest her.
Now.
Mrs. Porter screamed as two officers entered the room. She tried to run, but they grabbed her. Her voice echoed down the hallway as she was dragged out. It wasn't my fault. She should have just listened. She should have listened. Monique closed her eyes. She couldn't bear to look at the door where the woman disappeared. She didn't want to see anything except Nicole's face, the one she would never see alive again. Detective Miles approached her slowly. Monique, we're taking this very seriously. This recording is evidence of abuse and negligence. What happened to Nicole was preventable. I promise you, she'll get justice. Monique nodded faintly, but her hands kept shaking. Why didn't anybody say something? She whispered. Her voice broke. Why did my baby suffer alone? Zoe stepped forward through her tears. Ms. Monique, I tried. Nicole told me everything. She wanted to report her, but she was scared. She said Ms. Porter threatened to get her expelled for lying. Monique covered her face. Mr. Coleman, the school manager, clenched his jaw. If I had known, if any of us had known. Dr. Reeves shook his head sharply. You aren't to blame, Terrence. Some teachers hide their cruelty behind perfect records. But Nicole deserved better from all of us. Every one of us. Then he turned to Monique with eyes full of sorrow. I want to formally apologize to you. As principal, I failed your daughter. I won't fail her now. We'll open a full investigation into how long this went on. Detective Miles nodded. I'll take her tablet as evidence. But Monique, I'll email you a secure copy of the recording. It's your right to have it. Monique's face twisted with pain. She didn't want the audio, she wanted Nicole. But she nodded. When the room finally emptied, Monique stayed behind. She walked to the spot where Nicole's desk used to be. She ran her hand along the surface, imagining her daughter's notebook, the way she doodled little butterflies in the margins. She pictured Nicole smiling, her braces shining when she laughed. Her soft voice sang, Mom, I'm okay. Don't worry. But Nicole wasn't okay. And Monique would never stop worrying. She placed her palm flat on the desk and whispered, I'm so sorry, baby. Mommy is here now. I won't let them forget what they did. Zoe stepped beside her and held her hand. We'll fight with you, she said softly. Monique squeezed her hand back. Then she stepped out of the classroom, head high, tears streaming, heart shattered, but stronger than she had ever been. Justice for Nicole had just begun. Thank you, lovelies, for watching. If you love these Reddit stories as much as I do, smash that subscribe button and join our little community, because the next story is going to blow your mind.